What up, D-League? Welcome to Week 8. We're now past the hump. This is where the shit really starts to flow downhill. It's been a pretty crazy fantasy week, so we're going to just jump right into it and take a look at what my picks were last week. Last week I went 3-2, just like the week before. I only missed out on 2 games, which brings me up to 14-11. I would have had a perfect week last week, but instead Jamie decided to shit the bed, and Romo decided to shit his pants, which actually brings us to a special segment this week. Alright, well, Colin deserves a little special attention this week. Last week I spent about 10 seconds analyzing his odds of beating Jamie. Colin then came out and shocked the world and gave Jamie truly no reason to live. This upset was more painful than the new joke that's been going around.
There's a new joke going around, have you heard it? What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
What?
Slap!
Colin, a tip of the cap to you, sir. I will now eat my crow. It's so delicious. Num num num. Alright, let's take a look now at our rapist of the week.
Well, obviously we have a rapist.
I'll take the rapists for 200.
He's climbing in your windows, he's snatching your people up, trying to rape them, so y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they raping everybody out here.
Rape is coming. Don't get raped.
Our rapist of the week this week is Adam. Adam put up 155.46 points. Shockingly, it was against me. Losing to Adam is more annoying than a haunted house full of deaf people. But since I'm cursed, here we are. Captain Dipshit managed to put up 64.02 points against me. Whee! Let's take a look now at our biggest loser award.
Bitch, I'm about to ball this.
IQ of 48, and am what some people call mentally retarded.
He was retarded.
I'm a driver, I'm a winner. Things are gonna change, I can feel it.
Only reason I'm crying is because of the adrenaline.
James, on his way to a sure victory over Travis, came up 1 point short whenever Romo's clavicle proved to be weak like the Ukraine. To make matters worse, it sealed his fate as our loser of the week. Alright, let's take a look now at trades and waivers. As we all know, James lost Romo last week. He's just outside that playoff race and still has a chance at it, but yet he didn't pick up any quarterbacks off the wire, and he didn't make any moves for any quarterbacks. In a sad note, the Devin Hester era with Adam finally comes to an end, although Adam will probably panic and go and pick him back up again. There weren't any trades this week, so it actually makes for a pretty short segment. We're going to take a look now at our matchups. Alright, first up we got Mind Grapes taking on Here Comes Treble. I'm coming into this at 2-5, Trav's coming into this at 5-2. Couple of real winners here. Trav really needs this win because he can't afford to give up losses to easy teams right now to keep him in the hunt. Lucky for him, I usually give up about 1 billion points per game. What's sad is that I actually think I have him at QB this week, with Breeze going up against Pittsburgh. Wide receiver and running back is pretty much a toss-up for our underperforming crews. He's clearly got me from a tight end and an IDP standpoint though. That'd be pretty silly to get my hopes up. Historically speaking, Trav will probably break some kind of scoring record this week. Trav keeps blowing his way to the top. And anybody's willing to put in that kind of work, I gotta go with Trav this week. Alright, next up we got Team Disenchantment taking on Sunday. James is coming into this at 3-4. Nate's coming in at a hot 1-6. This is our toilet bowl matchup of the week. A Romo-less James and a 1-6 Nate. That's the kind of shit that they make you watch in prison when you misbehave. It's barely worth paying attention to.
Ron, are you paying attention?
Nope.
Well, this concerns all of us.
Okay.
If Favre doesn't play, Randy Moss is pretty much screwed. And with Randy Moss no longer in New England, Wes Welker is pretty much screwed. And as long as the Redskins rely on Santana Moss, they're screwed. Nate's wide receivers are pretty much a week-to-week fantasy hope and prayer. James's running backs pretty much dominate in this matchup. Nate loves him some current and former Buffalo Bill running backs. Past that, it's all pretty much coin flips. If Nate's going to pull off any other wins, it's pretty much going to be this kind of a matchup. I'm going to call for the upset here and predict Nate to win this match. Alright, next up we got Freedom Tower taking on Seppuku. Colin's coming into this at 4-3. Adam's mustered up 3-4 at this point. This match is actually pretty intriguing to me. Both of these teams really need this win bad. Every time we think Colin's done, he manages to pull a win out of his ass. Much like most of the ladies, Lady Luck also hates Adam. If he doesn't win this week, he'll probably stab himself for real. Adam's fielding the better quarterback this week with McNabb. Adam's actually cut Hasselbeck to start Kitna, which I think is a very ballsy move. Adam probably gets the wide receiver nod here, but I'd be scared to roll with any of the wide receivers on either of these teams. I highly doubt McFadden's going to run like he did last week. He probably won't even do that again this year. So I've definitely got to give Adam the nod in the running back department. Witten with Kitna as quarterback doesn't excite me any more than Owen Daniels does. The rest of the lineup is pretty much who's who of fantasy guesses. I'm actually going to go with Adam this week though, but betting against Colin has not proven fruitful for me in the past, so we'll see how it turns out. Alright, next up we have KC Reunited taking on No Beeson to Live. Sean's coming into this at 3-4. Jamie's coming into this at 5-2. Jamie's in a three-way tie with two people who would love to win this week just to piss him off. Sean, like Colin, also has a big mountain to climb to topple Jamie this week. Unfortunately, he's only easy in real life. Jamie has a pretty good quarterback.
If you like 6'5", 230-pound quarterbacks, laser, rocket arm.
Unfortunately, he also pretty much has better everything else. This is the one week where Sean probably won't have a running back advantage in any way. Jamie's the pretty easy call here, but as Colin showed last week, beating Jamie can be done. But Sean's going to have to perform out of his mind, and somebody's going to have to really blow up on his roster. Alright, next up we have Rainbow Warriors taking on Mavericks. Dave's coming into this at 5-2. Dan's sitting at 4-3. Dan's got a 4-win hot streak going right now. Dan actually has a real unique opportunity to strike here on his road to the playoffs. Dave's actually in a real bad spot this week. Dave's got 4 guys on bye. He's got Roddy White, Turner, Nix, and Bradshaw all having to sit on the bench this week because they're on byes. Dan's also without his brand new quarterback, but he does have Stafford to give a shot to and roll with this week. If Dan's going to beat Dave, it's got to be this week. I actually feel really good about his chances of doing that. I think it's really going to come down to how Schaub and Wayne performs for Dave. In the end, though, I'm going to call Dan on this one. Alright, well that's going to wrap it up for us this week, folks. I want to say thanks again to Trav for doing his mid-season report. It was very entertaining. And also to Colin for continuing his write-ups. Alright, well good luck to everybody this weekend, and we will see you next week.